Hi guys, welcome to my new channel for educators and course creators. My name is Julia Demi. I'm a Cambridge certified English teacher and a teacher trainer. I'm a founder of OK Education and I'm a course creator like you guys. So today we're going to talk about classroom interactions and how to make them more effective. Let's get started. But first things first, let's answer these two questions. Which classroom interactions do you offer to your students? Try to self-reflect, remember your classroom, how do you organize your students, how do they work? And the second question, what influences your decision which interaction to choose? So now we are ready to deep dive. Let's have a look at the classroom interactions and different types that you probably might have used in your classroom. So the first one, whole class working with you. Whole class moving around, mixing together as individuals. A mingle, we call it. Number 3, small groups, 3, 4, 5 people. Number 4, pairs and individual work. When do students have more opportunities to speak? Let's think all together. Of course, when they work in pairs, right? So because if you, let's say, have 20 people in your group and if you put them in pairs, then all 20 work at the same time and at least 10 are speaking at this particular moment. So we can see that a lot of people can work at the same time. Well, mainly parents, and sadly some institutions consider that it is more important for learners to listen and speak to you, to the educator, rather than to other learners. That's, I'm afraid, not true. And they do not benefit from speaking to you only. They mainly benefit from speaking to each other, communicating and finding some strategies to make their communication more effective. Number 2, it's also one of the ideas that many people consider to be right, but let's say we will see that it is not so. People usually learn best by listening to people explaining things. So let's say, imagine your students listening to you when you explain things. Yes, that's good that you explain them how to do something, but are they learning at this particular moment? Probably not, because they are not applying it. How do you know that they learned something? Well, you never know until they start applying it. So they need to apply it, and how they can apply it? In groups or in pairs. And another misconception is the teacher should speak as much as possible in the classroom time. Well, I'm afraid it's not so. If it is necessary, yes, the teacher should speak. Otherwise, you should all the time consider whether your teacher talking time leads you to some particular achievements and whether it helps your students acquire the language and make your lesson more effective. And in reality, students should get most conversation practice in interacting with each other rather than with you. People usually learn best by trying things out and finding out how they work. And again, the teacher should speak as little as possible, guys, in the classroom, because in fact we need to provide as many opportunities for our students to speak as we can. So these are the things that we need to consider. Teacher talking time. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, people have different ideas on that, and I would say that becoming aware of unnecessary teacher talking time is definitely one of your priorities. Though whether to eliminate teacher talking time at all, well, I wouldn't say that this is the thing. Teacher talking time can be really meaningful when you describe something, when you show how something works, when you correct or provide feedback. This is also teacher talking time, and you can help your students to acquire the skills effectively, and you can eliminate facilization. So why not to use teacher talking time? Of course, when it is necessary. How to maximize students' interaction in class? There are some ideas for you guys how to maximize student interaction in class. Off we go. So the first thing is you need to encourage a friendly, trusting, safe learning environment. Then your students will be more eager to learn and acquire new information. Tip number 2. Ask questions to elicit some background knowledge rather than giving explanations straight away. Stop spoon-feeding your students. They don't really need it. In fact, they do have a lot to share. Let them do it. Let them show it. Check what your students already know. It can make them more engaged. Tip number 3, be patient. Allow time for students to listen, think, process their answer, and speak. Tip number 4, really listen to what they say. Be attentive. Sometimes your students may show you, signal whether you made a mistake in your planning, and you need to be really very attentive to what they tell you. Tip number 5, allow thinking time without talking a word. Allow silence. When your students are silent, it doesn't really mean that they don't know something. It means that they are thinking, or it probably means that they are trying to find the right ideas, the right word, the right collocation to apply at this particular moment. So don't think that they don't know something, and scaffolding at this point is not the best thing. Tip number 6, increase opportunities for students' talking time. So student talking time is definitely a good thing. However, make sure that they talk about the subject that you planned, not about the weather or the plans for the upcoming weekend. Tip number 7, use gestures effectively. If you drill some pronunciation, think how you use your fingers, think how you use your palm, think how you exhale, and how you demonstrate the sounds, the wind. So this is something what will definitely help them understand how pronunciation works. Tip number 8, allow students to finish their own sentences. Don't spoon-feed them. I told you, don't do that. Tip number 9, if possible, arrange the seating so that students can all see each other, and there will be a different video on seating arrangements that you'll see in the description below and somewhere here. Tip number 10, if a student is speaking too quietly for you to hear, walk further away rather than closer to them. Give them more space, and they will not feel afraid if they make a mistake while working in pairs or in groups. Sometimes when the teacher is behind, it may frustrate the students. Not to let it happen, just give them some more space, and you will see that their interaction will be more natural and effective. And finally, encourage interaction between students rather than only between teachers and students. You will see that your students will benefit from talking to each other, and we learn from our peers more than what we can learn from our teachers. As a matter of fact, it is true. However, the teachers are really important figures in the classroom, and we are the directors of the orchestra. So use your orchestra and the tools effectively. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would be really very glad to answer all your questions. If you like this video, please give me your thumbs up, and the subscription is highly appreciated. See you in my new video, guys. Bye!